and we are here with Scorpio's forecast for October. Our birthday is coming up. The sun is getting ready to shine on us. We got Venus in our very home sign blessing us. Gonna go retrograde, spend a little bit more time with us, making us evaluate our self-love, our self-care, our self-image, how we put ourselves out there into the world. Now, when it goes retrograde, this isn't the time for a new hairdo so much, or a total makeover to your appearance. But a time to think about it so that when it goes forward, then we're going forward with that energy. So be careful of not loving yourself this time. Money might be held back a little bit for you at this time. And this is also as Jupiter is going forward quickly out of our first house, which is going to leave us a blessing before he leaves and before he moves into our second house of money in Sagittarius, in our values where Venus rules. And so Venus going retrograde, and then it's going to shoot forward, and then they're going to come and they're going to meet up close into our second house where we're going to get blessed with money. So now hopefully we still have some of this residual Virgo energy that we're bringing forward with us into Libra season. Now Libra season is the time to balance it out, to look at the aesthetic of it, how we feel about it more. Does it feel good to our thoughts? A good time for designing and redecorating. Redesigning stuff that you've already had perhaps, but not coming up with something new during the retrograde period so much. It's going to be a little bit harder. It could be creative blocks. So now we're going to have the sun come into us. We have Virgo, we have Venus falling off. Venus does not get along in Scorpio so much. That's why we have a hard time loving, because we're trying to do it on a deep level. Real, authentic, true, deep relationships is what the Scorpio wants. We can't do superficial relationships that much, or religions. Okay, so that's the big news, is the Venus retrograde happening in our sign. And it's right before the sun's going to come to us. So it knows like the Scorpio needs a little bit more work to itself. So it's going to come back and do that so that it clears the way and it's going to bless the pathway for the sun to come in and to shine on those things that we had to work with in the dark on ourselves. Unhealthy self-image, unhealthy ways that we deal with this crazy period that we're in. And this week, the first week of October, very tough. I'm doing this on the 3rd. Just the moment you go through my background, so we know I'm a Scorpio. Shout out Prince Scorpio 13, Instagram. So in our second house of money, we don't have much going on right now. We have projects that we gotta work on a little bit more before we bring them to the light of day. Now we're toward the 3rd house of our relationships with our brothers and sisters, or like roommates, short messages. We have Saturn, who was retrograde there forever. We have Pluto, who was retrograde there for even more. That's changing the structures that we've had in those venues. Short distance trips, not working out. Holding from small business transactions happening to get that project going. Not happening. Well, now Saturn's going forward. Pluto's finally going forward, both in that house. Mending those relationships, restructuring them. That's this other big deal going on right now. For time's sake, we're going forward. And now we've also had in our 4th house, which is our home environment, how we are mothered, our south node, our home country. We have Mars spent a lot of time passing over and retrograding back and over the north node. So Right now, the Scorpio is called to be this really strong warrior in your home freaking land right now. And in your home base, working at home. Perhaps you've had lots of arguments at home with your mom, with your wife, who's a mother perhaps of your kids. And now it's going forward. It's going to be a little bit smoother, but it's going to be a little bit fiery, but a fiery that's congruent, not a retrograde fire where it's so much working in and inner fights, but now we're coming out and now things are moving a little bit slower, quicker and smoother. And now we go into our 5th house of creative projects. We had Chiron just dip back into Pisces, so your 5th house. Your creative projects, you're very imaginative. You use your emotions to express yourself. Shout out to Drake, Scorpio. Your creative project, you're a little bit more artistic, emotionally driven. And we have Chiron coming in there to, he already spent a lot of time there, many years. And so he went into Aries to go into your daily work, have your daily routine, your health even. Perhaps your health got afflicted. Now it's pulling back. And it's going into Pisces to hide a little bit more, to go back into your unconscious, your dream world. You could be having tough dreams right now, but also inspiration from that. And so now you've been like kind of stung a little bit with that scorpion tail that we sting ourselves. We come back for healing time. We have at home, we take care of our home environment and we get strengthened up there. And then as Chiron goes forward again, back into our 6th house, we're ready to implement our new creative project into our daily routine. And that goes very well along with the Jupiter moving into the 2nd house with Venus coming together there. It's like this whole clock has been like, and now we have the final last is Venus. Out of all the planets to go retrograde, Venus is going to be the best, but your relationships with others, significant others, is going to be tested more. Is it really serving your ultimate purpose and truth? And in this Libra season, if it's not, then this sword of justice comes down and levels out the balances, because this relationship isn't for your sole purpose. It could be a relationship to your significant other, to your home, to your homeland, to your health, to yourself. It's all relative. Into our 7th house with Uranus just coming into unexpected change to the fixed relationship that you want to have in your home. Wanting to be unique and individualistic. And so weighing that with being in a relationship. It's okay to be alone. It's free. And you can be with somebody too much. You still need your alone time. Get sucked out. Okay, but we still have the sun right now in our 12th house, which is the stuff that's hidden. So this is the time to still do that stuff in the dark to get ready for when our birthday happens. And then after our birthday, you'll start seeing the blessings. So use this time to get ready for it. Let's go to some cards. I created my own tarot deck from normal playing cards. You take 2, you put them together, you choose one to be your major arcana. So what, pray tell, are some cards that could help us? It's a weird kind of angle. Let's go to the desk. Oops, I apologize. My battery's getting low. I just saw the King of Hearts, the Suicide King. The Scorpio, out of its pride, stings himself before he'll let his enemy do it. Okay, let's stop stinging ourselves now. Let's stop doubting ourselves, and let's go forward as this energy is getting ready to go forward. Let us use this last little bit of time to get your game plan together. Cut off the stuff that's not helping us. What's the card for the Queen of Pentacles? This is the Capricorn. We have Saturn going forward. Let's start to build. Start to be that video game that the kids love. But you build as you go. Things are going to start moving faster for us. And we're called to be a real healer right now. We're the Scorpio, we're the alchemists. We turn lead into gold. King of Diamonds. King of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Queen is also the Queen of Rods, more traditionally. I use the Pentacles with the club sometimes, and it's black. But I really also want to hark in on, she has to do with Sagittarius, Leo energy, maybe even Leo energy. So us being a little bit more on fire now, having a little bit of fire. So we have the fire element, and now we have the earth element. So that's also Capricornian energy. Diamonds translates to Pentacles, which translates to earth, material, wealth. So we have that coming up, but now we have to we're a step below that in the fire stage before we end up in the earth phase. And we're in air season, coming in water. The final solution ingredient, which is also the first, is water right now. We're the first and the last. Alpha, Mega, death and the resurrection, Scorpio. 9 of Swords, mental, death. The 9 is the end of something, and then the 10 is also the beginning of something new. Deading that stuff, taking that sword, chopping off that stuff that's causing us mental angst in this air season of Libra. And then we end up the 10 of Pentacles in a happy home environment. Trust the universe that we're going to get there. Namaste. Book a freaking reading, astrowake.com.